right, guys, I decided to do something different. So today we are going to channel messages from those of you who have a father who has passed on. Now, again, this isn't going to resonate with everyone, so take what does, leave what doesn't, but there could be some sort of message in here for you. So I'm giving fathers who have passed on the opportunity to come through what kind of messages they might have. So if you have a father, okay, so 2 cards right away: healing and living in the present. So some of you, Spirit is saying, okay, in the afterlife, so if your father passed on and maybe they were sick or struggling some type of like physical pain, mental pain, they are not struggling from that once they've crossed over. Once they've passed on, they are healed, or they were in the process of being healed by crossing over. Also, maybe some of you are struggling right now with your own health because of this person's passing. You know, you lost your father and you're having a hard time getting over it, or you've become physically sick or mentally depressed or filled with anxiety. Then focus on healing. Also, possibility of needing to go out in nature. Sometimes going out in nature, walks by like a lake, an ocean, a river, a moving body of water can be helpful. Maybe they were somebody who was big into nature. Maybe they were somebody who liked to go outdoors a lot. Maybe you went camping or fishing. Maybe that was therapeutic for them or therapeutic for you. So this is their way of recognizing that and connecting with you. But again, they're talking about healing. Now, the number 17 could be important. So maybe this is somebody who passed away on the 17th of the month, or maybe they had a birthday on the 17th of the month, or maybe you have a birthday on the 17th of the month. Maybe this happened back in 2017 when you were 17 years old or 17 years ago. So again, there's something about healing, you know, protecting your mental health, your physical health, taking care of yourself, but also to let you know that they are no longer struggling physically or mentally. Now that they have crossed over, they are healthy. All right. Living in the present. So this is something about a message from Spirit, somebody's father who passed on, and they're saying, look, yes, I passed away, but you can no longer dwell on the past. You have to live in the present. You have to let go of that and try to move forward. So the other thing about this I will say is maybe they're even saying to you, you've also got to stop focusing so hard on the what if, like, you know, what if I would have done this, or what if I should have said this, or I should have done this, or I should have stopped over. Let go of the past and focus on the present, living in the present. Now this one does have the number 42. So maybe you are currently 42 years old. Maybe they passed away when they were 42 years old. Maybe they were born in 1942. Maybe they are, you know, there's just something about the number 42 that could be important. I don't know why I picture somebody, well, I don't know how high numbers go, but I see somebody here that is a baseball player. So if somebody had a father who was like a very avid baseball player, softball player, specifically baseball, or maybe even if you are an avid baseball player or softball player, do jerseys go up to the number 42? I don't even know if they do. The funny part is this baseball outfit that they're showing me, it is blue and white, but also blue and yellow. So I want to say a team, maybe their favorite team was a team that would be blue and white or blue and yellow. Now, I'm from Milwaukee, so maybe it's just because I'm seeing like a Brewers as a reference. But something about that. And they're saying, listen, I don't want you to be stuck. I don't want you to dwell on the past or the what ifs. I want you to focus on the present. Try and let go of the past, even though maybe you feel bad or you have some sort of guilt or feelings towards my passing, woulda, coulda, shouldas. But you know, I also heard maybe you're somebody who had to live without them for most of your life. So maybe this is a father who passed away when you were very, very young and you had to go your whole life or most of your life without them. But they're saying, you know, I'm sorry that I left you. It feels like I left you in the past. You know, I can't control that. They couldn't control that. You can't control that, but they don't want you to dwell on that or the what ifs. They want you to live in the present. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? Any other channeled messages from Spirit? So if you have a father who has crossed over, this message could be for you. Again, they're not going to resonate with everyone. All right, let's see. Anything else? Again, this card to me almost kind of looks like a weird campfire. So again, if you were somebody who, I heard Scouts Honor because of this, somebody who maybe had Scouts Honor, somebody who was big into camping or the outdoors, or if you're big into camping or the outdoors, maybe these are resonating with you. What else do we have? What other messages? Okay. Relationships. Maybe there was something about the relationship you had with your father. Now, maybe you had a really, really good relationship. So they're coming through to honor that and thank you for that. Like, thank you for, allowing me to be in your life. And thank you for us having this bond that we had. However, these two trees are kind of separated. Even though they come together for a kiss, they're still separated, like they're their own individuals. So maybe there was something going on in regards to the relationship before they passed. Maybe the relationship was strained. You see how they're straining. So maybe Spirit is saying, look, even though the relationship was strained prior to my passing, once I've crossed over, that doesn't matter anymore. My spirit is now healed. My spirit is now healthy. Anything, those, if we were arguing, if we were fighting, if we weren't on the same page about something, that's what is it? Water under the bridge. Let bygones be bygones. Maybe they also want to reference something like, say hello to your mom for me. Maybe one of you is listening and you're like, man, my mom thinks about you so much. This is your dad's way or your father's way of saying, hey, tell your mom I'm sending her a kiss. But again, it's like nature. So whoever in the very beginning, there's someone very naturey, or this applies to people who are very naturist. Now, self-mastery. So with this card, what I'm feeling is maybe Spirit is saying, maybe you had a father who taught you a lot. Like, they showed you so many important lessons in life, and they're letting you know, like, now you got those lessons. Now you take that and you grow with that. You learn from that. I taught you. So, go out there and make the best of your situations. Do the best that you can in life. Self-mastery, because I taught you these things. Or maybe you felt like the number 15 sticks out to me. So maybe you felt like, you know what? I was younger. I was a teen, maybe around 15 when you passed. And I needed you. I needed you to teach me how to be a man. And Spirit is like, I'm sorry for passing. I'm sorry for moving on before I could give you those lessons. But you go out and you learn those lessons for yourself, or you teach that to your children, those lessons. Things like fixing cutting a piece of wood, using tools, changing a tire, doing an oil change. And I'm not saying that women can't teach you how to do these things, but what I'm saying is maybe somebody felt like you left at a time, or you passed on at a time when I was really just learning how to become a man and I needed you. And Spirit is saying, we acknowledge that, but you know what? Either you go out and you learn these lessons for yourself, you're strong enough to do that, or if it was somebody who did instill a lot of lessons into you, Spirit is acknowledging that, or just saying, don't be scared to go out and do things. I taught you before I left. I showed you how to do this, or I helped you do this, or I left you with the tools to be successful. Again, something about 15 or the age of 15. This could have been someone who passed away in your teens. Maybe some of you are currently like, have teens, and they're like, okay, the things that I taught you, make sure you pass that down. I showed you how to fix a car. I used to have you in the garage with me. Now I want you to have your son in the garage with you. Pass those lessons down from generation to generation. All right, let's see. What other channeled messages am I getting from Spirit? What other messages am I getting from Spirit? Rest and rejuvenation. Maybe this is their way of saying, hey, look, I am cool. I'm on the other side. I am resting. I am healthy. I am rejuvenated. I am relaxing. You don't have to stress. You don't have to worry. But also maybe they're telling you, you need to rest and rejuvenate. You need to rest and relax. This is a card of like taking a break, pouring more into yourself. Spirit is like, you probably, maybe you go out and do a lot for everybody else, but make sure you're pouring into yourself. But also they're saying, look, I'm okay. For the month of April could be significant. So maybe this is someone whose father passed away in April or on the 4th of a month. or 4 years ago, 2004, maybe when you were 4 years old, maybe something about April significant, the birthday month or the month that they passed, either their months or your birthday month. But they're saying, I heard, okay, 4 children, maybe you're one of 4 children. Or maybe you have 4 children. And so this is saying, you know what, allow yourself the ability to rest and relax. Although you want to go out and help everyone else, or maybe you feel like you got to be super dad because now your dad's gone and now you want to be super dad, Spirit is saying it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to relax. It's okay to pour into yourself. You don't necessarily always have to do for everyone else. Or maybe your dad was that kind of person and it's just like, you know what, your dad is coming through. He was the type of person who always poured into everyone else, and now he's just taking a break. He's relaxing. His spirit is around you, but his body needed a break, needed to relax. All right, let's see here. The person looks like somebody maybe doing meditation. So maybe if you are someone who's big into meditation, one of these messages will resonate with you. Or maybe if your father was somebody who was big into meditation, maybe these messages will relate. All right, let's see. Any other Father's Day messages that are coming through? Any other Father's Day? Did that card flip? It did. Okay. All right, so give it time, everything in divine timing, let things flow. So that's just a reminder that, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens in divine timing. It's out of our control. Let things flow. Don't try to force things and don't try to hold on to the past. But also maybe there's something about give it time. Maybe you have been rushing yourself or pressuring yourself in some area of your life, and Spirit, your Father, is coming through to remind you, like, stop forcing things. Allow yourself time. Things go with the flow. This looks like also like a leaf growing up out of like the ground or something. So maybe one of yous are very big into gardening, or maybe your father was very big into gardening and he's just kind of referencing the garden like, yo, give it time. It has to grow. It'll grow. Calm down. Your plants will grow. Let's see. Let me take a couple of more cards. Let's see if there's anything else, any other messages. So if you lost a father, this is a message from fathers who have passed on coming through to kind of give you a message. All right. Give it time. I just heard watch, and then I saw an image of someone's watch. Maybe their passing was very unexpected, or maybe their passing drug out very long and you were like, they were sick for a really long time. Or maybe their passing was very sudden. Maybe there's something significant about a watch. Maybe you have a watch of theirs, or they had a favorite watch, or you guys really liked watches, or you are into watches. This again could be a message for you. Give it time, let things flow, don't force things, and don't try to hold on to the past. All right. Then you have divorce, experiencing a breakup. So I don't know, maybe some of you are going through issues right now in your love life where you're facing a divorce, and their spirit is just coming through to reference that and just kind of let you know they're here with you. Maybe they're trying to give you signs to help guide you, like, is this the best decision, or should you like try to work it out? Maybe breakup, divorce, maybe this is someone coming through referencing, maybe they broke up or divorced like your mother, or they broke up with your mother or divorced your mother and it left a sour taste in your mouth. But at the end of the day, not all relationships are meant to last forever. So maybe that bothered you. Also, sometimes death feels like a breakup. Like, I have to let this person go. I have to let them go. Nothing lasts forever, or things can't always last forever. We don't live forever. But there could be something important about a divorce or a breakup. Maybe, what I heard? Divorce. I heard divorce papers, messy papers. So maybe somebody who passed on, they're coming through to reference that, after they passed, it was very messy. It was like a divorce, as far as like the will and handling probate and handling their function. So maybe you're somebody who had to deal like that, and maybe they're just kind of saying, hey, give it time, let things flow, it will work out. So maybe this message is for you. I know this is supposed to be like a heartbreaking up, but it reminds me of a pomegranate. So I don't know if somebody here, if something is significant with pomegranates, maybe you really like pomegranates, they like pomegranates, maybe something with pomegranate juice, something about that is important. But these are all the messages. Nope, I'm lying. I'm going to take one last message. So one last message from a father who has passed on. Again, not everything will resonate. Take what works for you and leave what doesn't. Is there any other messages from a father who's coming through? Let's see here. Okay, actually there's a couple. All right, so you got emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but sometimes they distort your perception and cloud your vision. Trying to see things clearly and letting go of resentment. They don't want you to have resentment regarding their past. And they don't want you to have resentment towards anyone. Maybe they're just like, look, you know what? Emotions are okay. Emotions are necessary. But at the same time, when we let our emotions get too overwhelming, it's like all of a sudden we're mad at this person, but it's really because we're mad at ourselves. Or all of a sudden we're taking our anger out on someone else, blaming them when really it's us. So letting go of resentment surrounding their passing. No more woulda, shoulda, couldas. It is what it is. All right. Then you have soulmate. It says, look, your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. I think spirit is just saying, like, I flip that around to be because this person has passed on. Spirit is like, look, they're not here with you physically, but they are here with you in spirit form. Like, they're your soulmate. Now, they used to be here physically. Now they're here spiritually. I always tell everybody, you can talk to spirits. Talk out loud, talk in your mind. It doesn't matter. Ask them for signs. You know, hey, you're talking about your dad today and you go home and you sit down on your couch and all of a sudden there's just a dime sitting there for no reason at all. You're not even somebody who has changed. Nobody came over. Nobody's been in your house. And suddenly there's a dime on your couch. That's a message from spirit. Or you're driving, you're thinking about your dad and suddenly his favorite song comes on. Or you start to smell his cigar when there's no cigar smell around. So he's not with you physically, but he is with you in spirit. And then the last card is passion. It says a magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. I think to me, this card would just say there's some sort of quality around you where maybe you are the type of person that draws people in, but also maybe your father was somebody who drew people in. He was the type of person who's very, passionate about life, passionate about the things that he did, and he had this ability to draw people into him. And maybe now he's saying, you know what, why don't you do that too? Put yourself out there, be creative, show your talents, show your true self, be your natural self, and don't be afraid to draw people in, or don't be afraid to open up and let people in. Don't be closed off just because you lost your parent. So these are all the messages I have for those of you who may have lost a father. I hope that some of these resonate with some of you. Drop it in the comments. To follow me, JaylinK79 on Instagram, or to book a personal reading, www.designhertouch.com. It's a recorded video reading and they're $30 on my website.